Hello, beautiful soul of Scorpio. Let me ask you something. Not with urgency, but with the soft gravity of truth. When you hear the word home, what rises in you first? Is it the apartment or room where you sleep each night? The familiar walls and furniture? The address you've written on forms? Or is it something far more intimate, something that lives beneath the surface of memory and logic? Maybe it's not even a place you've seen with your eyes, but one your soul has always known. Scorpio, if you more than anyone understand that the real definition of home isn't about bricks or cities or paperwork. It's about resonance. It's about alignment. It's about belonging not just in a space, but in a state of being. And that's where we begin. With a quiet but unshakable truth, your current home is not your forever home. That may be hard to hear. Or maybe it's something you've been sensing for a while now, like a soft echo that keeps returning each time you're alone with your thoughts. The place you're in right now, geographically, emotionally, spiritually, it served a purpose. It protected you. It stretched you. It taught you resilience. But it was never meant to hold you forever. You've outgrown the shell that once felt safe. What once fit you like a second skin now feels tight, even stifling. And it's not because something's wrong with you or the space, it's simply that you've evolved. And your environment hasn't caught up. You carry depth that demands depth in return. You are not meant to decorate yourself into comfort when the energy beneath your feet no longer feeds your spirit. This isn't about chasing luxury or appearances, it's about finally stepping into a space that reflects the truth of who you are now. A space that allows your intuition to breathe, your creativity to expand, and your heart to rest. The next chapter of your life isn't arriving with fanfare and fireworks. It's arriving like a quiet understanding, like a soft internal nudge that says, "You're done here. It's time to go home." And this time, it's not just about moving forward, it's about returning to yourself. And if lately you've been feeling that quiet unease, that sense of not quite fitting into your own life, it's like you're walking through a version of reality that doesn't fully belong to, it's not your fault. You're not doing anything wrong. You haven't failed to adjust or appreciate or make it work. That discomfort isn't a sign of weakness. It's a message, a gentle, insistent whisper from your soul, letting you know that you're not meant to stay here much longer. Scorpio, your spirit is highly attuned to energetic truth, even when your mind can't fully explain it. And the truth is, you've been living in a space, physical or emotional, that no longer reflects your becoming. Maybe you've tried to silence that inner voice. Maybe you've decorated, adjusted, convinced yourself to stay. But deep down, there's a knowing that this version of your life, this environment, this energy, it's no longer yours. It's like wearing someone else's skin, smiling in someone else's mirror, walking through a world that doesn't echo your name back to you. This is not rejection. This is redirection, a spiritual alert system letting you know that your time here is complete. You're not just meant to exist, to get by, to blend in. You're meant to radiate, and that kind of radiance needs the right conditions. The walls around you should support your light, not dim it. The people around you should reflect your truth, not require you to hide it. You've been holding back for too long. And that restless tension you feel, that's your soul gathering its strength to rise. This new space you're being led toward, Scorpio, is not simply about fresh walls or a change of scenery. It's a sacred container for your becoming. A place where you can finally stop holding your breath, where you no longer have to second-guess your instincts, suppress your depth, or explain the parts of yourself that others once found too much. You are not too much. You were simply in a space that could not hold you. But that is about to change. Because where you're going, you will not only fit, you will belong. Every corner, every energy, every unfolding moment will match the frequency of your truest self, and in that alignment, you will begin to glow in ways you haven't allowed yourself to imagine. For Scorpios, born between the 23rd of October and the 1st of November, this transition is about identity and purpose. The place you're moving toward will act like a mirror, revealing a version of you that feels long overdue. You'll begin to shed roles that were never truly yours, jobs, routines, even identities that were born from necessity, not truth. And in their place, you'll feel an inner calling rising. It may be quiet at first, a shift in what excites you, what you say yes to, what you're willing to let go of. But as this new space anchors you, you'll begin to live with clearer intention. You'll realize that the life you thought you had to chase is one you're now ready to create. If you were born between the 2nd of November and 12th, the transformation shows up most vividly in your relationships. As your environment changes, so does the energy you allow into your personal space. You may begin to feel a deep aversion to surface-level interactions, emotional performances, or people who thrive in chaos. The new home, the new energy, will act as a filter, removing what's false and revealing who truly honors your spirit. You may attract soul-aligned relationships you didn't even think were possible, connections that are safe, clear, rooted in mutual respect and resonance. This shift isn't just about romance or friendship. It's about intimacy in its truest form, being seen, being understood, and being valued without distortion. And for Scorpios born between the 13th of November and 21st, this move will act as a spiritual ignition for your creativity. You may not have called yourself creative for years, or perhaps you did, but only in private moments when no one was watching. That's because survival has had your attention. But in this new space, survival is no longer the only requirement. Your body will begin to relax. Your nervous system will reset. And from that stillness, your imagination will bloom. You'll write, paint, build, lead, speak, design, or dream, again, not as a hobby or an escape, but as a core part of who you are, because this new environment will reflect back to you not only what you can do, but who you are when you are free. No matter your birth date, Scorpio, this shift has one sacred promise at its core. You are no longer meant to adapt to a life that stifles your soul. You are meant to arrive, and where you are going, you will. And maybe you've already seen glimpses of it in your childhood dreams, in quiet visions you couldn't explain, in the kind of homes you used to draw without knowing why. Perhaps you remember standing in a Foss garden in a dream, sunlight pouring through unfamiliar windows, or walking through a foreign city that somehow felt like it had always known your name. Those weren't fantasies, Scorpio. They were soul memories, echoes of the kind of environment where your spirit was always meant to land, places where your energy wasn't just tolerated but nourished. Places where you didn't have to choose between safety and truth, stillness and expression. That's why this shift isn't about simply moving house. It's a return to yourself, a return to a frequency that matches who you are when you're not editing your presence, when you're not over-accommodating, when you're not shrinking to avoid making others uncomfortable. Scorpio, you've spent too long mastering how to survive in misaligned spaces. You've learned how to adapt, how to go silent, how to make yourself smaller just to keep the peace. But you were never meant to just survive. You were meant to transform every room you walk into. And to do that, you need a space that doesn't require you to dim your light before you even arrive. This new home, energetically, emotionally, physically, is not just a shelter. It's an amplifier. It's where your truth will feel louder, your instincts sharper, your creativity more alive. It's where your silence will feel sacred, not lonely, where your depth will be mirrored, not misunderstood. where you will no longer be too intense or too much, because you will finally be exactly right. This is not a fantasy. It's your soul remembering what alignment feels like and leading you back home. And once you truly arrive in that space designed for your energy, something profound will begin to shift without forcing, without struggle. The parts of you that have long been muted will start to awaken. You'll notice your creativity flowing more freely, as if it's been waiting for the right air to breathe. You'll feel more open, more willing to connect, to speak, to be seen, not because you've suddenly changed, but because the environment around you finally gets it. The stillness won't weigh you down. It will hold you. The silence won't isolate you. It will center you. Relationships will deepen in this new space. 2. The kind of conversations that never seemed to happen before will begin to unfold naturally. Those who meet you there, whether new or familiar, will sense something different in your presence. You'll no longer have to explain your boundaries or your emotional depth. They will feel it, respect it, and meet you there. Even the ideas or projects that once felt stalled or out of reach will begin to move again. That's because you'll no longer be pouring yourself into cracked ground. You'll finally be rooted in the kind of soil that was made to nourish you. Scorpio. The truth is simple and undeniable. Your regal essence doesn't suit mediocre environments. You were not made for spaces that require you to downplay your wisdom, apologize for your intuition, or denude your transformation. You were born to live where your frequency is recognized and your power is natural. And that place, the one your soul has always remembered, is already calling you. You don't have to force it. You just have to listen. Because the moment you arrive, you will know, this is it. This is where I was always meant to be. So, Scorpio, if your heart has been restless, if your spirit has been whispering that you no longer belong where you are, trust that it's not fear, it's guidance. The discomfort you feel isn't a sign you're lost. It's a sign you're awakening. You're not being pushed away from something. You're being called towards something greater, toward a home that doesn't just hold your body, but honors your soul. This next chapter isn't about escape. It's about return. Return to truth. Return to alignment. Return to the life your spirit has always known was possible. You don't have to explain yourself in this new place. You don't have to shrink, translate, or prove. You only have to be. And that, Scorpio, is your power. If this message resonated with you, don't ignore it. Write in the comments where your soul has been calling you, and if you've already started to feel the signs, synchronicities, dreams, subtle nudges, know that your new beginning is already in motion. Your forever home is not a fantasy. It's a promise. And it's closer than you think,